Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out True Off My Chest. Story 1. I am struggling. I don't know if this is the right subreddit for this, but I just need to tell someone. April of this year, my 21 at the time, dad, 50, passed away. I have always had a rocky relationship with him because he was an alcoholic, but he tried his best to be there for me and I confided in him about everything. I recently moved in with my boyfriend after saving up some money thinking I would be able to find a job where we moved. This was not the case. Normally my dad would help me with money or advice when I really needed it, but now I have nobody to help. I've applied for so many jobs and have a degree from a great college, but this hasn't been helpful at all. I have no clue what to do and just feel so lost. This year has been hell for me and I don't know how I'll ever get through it. I'm really trying my best, but the struggle is real. Story 2. Women are always believed when they cry abuse. No, they aren't. And this is no way undermining men who has actually been abused, so please do not think I'm saying it's all men. I've had men argue with me saying their girlfriends treated them like shit because they treated their GFs like shit first, calling that abuse. Anytime their GF brought up an issue that led to an argue he caused because he got defensive, they smacked the gaslight and manipulation button. I've been abused several times in every form. When I tell you no one believed me, I mean it. I was raped and my therapist told me I was just young and regretted losing my virginity, and a way to make me feel less guilty was by calling it rape. Why? Because I went to a Catholic school and knew sex outside of marriage was wrong. He did contact police, but guess what? Nothing came of it. When my best friend sexually assaulted me after school and I told a teacher about it, I was told by the principal that if it didn't happen on school grounds then it's not the school's issue. When my ex was beating on me while I was at his place and his mom and brother were there, they took his side because he was the one bleeding, but I was the one with bruises all over my body. He was bleeding because I scratched him across the face to get him off of me. I had his skin under my nails. I went on a last-minute vacation with my parents because they thought I was going to kill myself. I had to go on vacation with a handprint-shaped bruise on my wrist, a knot on my head, a bruise under the eye and a bruise on my chest. The cartilage in my sternum was torn. It hurt to breathe. Yet when I was asked what happened by a few friends or mutuals, at least one person in the group would say, "What did you do to piss him off?" Or "No one beats someone for no reason." Or when I posts pictures of texts he sent me calling me names and crap, it's always, "Well, show us your messages then." I have no shame in posting my own, but it's just walls of his own messages one after the other. To the point I have 3 screenshots of just his texts. I always have to show proof, and even when proof is given no one believes me. Story 3. My sex life is dead. So, just to simply put it, I find sex to be very important in a relationship. This activity isn't just for pleasure to me, it's a way to connect and feel close to my person. So here I am, married to my husband, which we haven't even been married an entire year yet. Sex life has progressively gone downhill. At the beginning it was great, but now, we have sex about once a month and that's only if I initiate it, and he doesn't really get into it. He acts like it's a chore half the time when we do. It's very frustrating, and I have spoken to him about it so many times and nothing ever changes. I've asked if he just isn't attracted to me anymore, if he's getting bored with it, and his answer is always no. It's just incredibly irritating. I am at a standstill of what to do here, as it makes me feel disconnected from him on that level. Communication isn't doing anything anymore, and it is something I need from a relationship, which he knows, but it's like I'm expected to sacrifice a need I have. Story 4. I'm in a great and healthy relationship, yet I keep thinking about girl I used to date. Okay, so I've been with my girlfriend for the past 4 months and they've been great. I've found someone I really care about and we get on really well and I enjoy spending time with her. Before we were official I was seeing another girl and it didn't end the best. She was very hot and cold and difficult to read a majority of the time. Constant fights and getting angry at me for little things didn't help. After every one of the arguments we had, she would send a goodbye message, then the next morning act as if nothing happened. It all ended as one week I gave her the heads up that I was completely busy for the week as there was already stuff I had planned, and she said that she was all good for Sunday night date, which was the only day I had free that week. I messaged her midweek to organize the date for Sunday night, and she then said she didn't think it was a night even. She agreed. After I bumped her message after she got upset at me for saying I didn't say it was a night date, she sent me a goodbye message saying that she doesn't like seeing me once a week and she was gonna pass on the date, and then said, "I'm someone who believes you make time for them people you want to see, all the best." This caught me off guard as I was confused as I was trying to make time to see her, and she did agree previously. I didn't end up responding until the next morning. I sent her a message saying I feel like I'm doing the right thing by letting you know my schedule beforehand. It's not like this all the time, it's just this week's a bit chaotic. I'm confused because I want to see you again, hence why I'm organizing a date. She responded straight away saying that she feels I'm not looking for something serious and that when I find someone I'm interested in I'll have the time. I never responded after that. A few hours later she sent me a message saying you're not the person I thought you were, and then blocked me on everything. I'm happy things turned out the way they did. My girlfriend is great and we care about each other a lot, but I just don't know why these feelings and these emotions about this girl decided to pop up again randomly recently. It's been 7 months since that all happened, yet it's hit me really badly, seemingly out of nowhere. Story 5. I went through my mom's phone. And now I can see how proud she is of me, and my accomplishments. She brags to everyone about me and I didn't know. She doesn't tell me how proud she is or show any real excitement at my accomplishments in person, and I think it's something she's been actively working on, so I don't place any judgment on her because I know growing up she had a difficult emotional experience and never got therapy or anything for it. But seeing those messages, her telling people how proud she is and bragging about me could bring me to tears. She's in her last battle with cancer, so to see those messages while she's still here healed something in me. It's stupid but just wanted to get it out somewhere. Story 6. I gagged at a customer when she spit her tooth out on the counter. CW, blood and broken teeth. So to start, I work in retail, but I didn't want to put this in the customer service subreddit because it's really gross and I just need to get it off my chest and I don't have anyone IRL to talk about it with at the moment. Also, I vomit at the sight of blood. So this lady and her friend came up to my register. The friend had bought some boxes of peanut M&Ms and after she paid gave them to the other lady to eat while she paid for her stuff. She didn't have very great teeth. I don't want to assume she was on drugs, but just imagine a drug user's teeth. So it was all fine and dandy until she all of a sudden let out a muffled ouch. While I was getting her change from the register, I looked up and she had blood streaming from her mouth and watched her spit out the broken tooth pieces onto the counter. I didn't say anything because, like I mentioned earlier, I vomit at the sight of blood, so I was trying not to puke everywhere because that would make the situation so much worse. So when I handed her the change and the receipt so I could free my hand and grab the towels underneath the counter for her, but she grabbed it with her bloody hand, so I covered my mouth and did one of those slight back arch gags out of reflex, trying to hold it in. It wasn't a super exaggerated one, it was a really small gag. Because I genuinely wasn't trying to. But she thought I was trying to be mean, so she got really offended and left before I could give her the towels. And then I ran to the bathroom and threw up a couple times, then came back and saw she left the shambles of her tooth on the counter, and guess who had to clean it? Me. I literally can't get the memory of her damn tooth on the counter and the blood all over her out of my head, and I know it's not her fault, but got mad at me, didn't even try to help clean it, or apologize, so that's why I don't really feel bad for her. I tried to help the best I could. I'm not a dentist and not trained to deal with that stuff, so automatically expecting me to not gag is kind of weird. I guess a slight bit of PTSD was my early Christmas gift. Story 7. Life. I just want to tell somebody. In the past I struggled with depression, it was a dark time in my life. But I just want to say that I'm happy to be alive. I'm so proud of myself that I got past those dark times. I hope everyone who is struggling with depression gets through it. Giving up is not worth it. There are people who can help. DMs are open if anyone wants to talk. Stay strong 3. Story 8. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not suicidal but I don't want to do this anymore. I can't afford to live, take care of my kids or pets or be happy. I wish I just wouldn't wake up again. Story 9. My boyfriend is suicidal and I don't know how to cope with it anymore. TW suicide. My 25M boyfriend, 26M, is suicidal and has been for the 6 months we've known each other. He has attempted to end his life multiple times in that time span, one of which I ended up being the one talking him out of it. I hoped that would be a turning point where his family will see his need for therapy, and he has tried different medications, but no long-term therapy, which I have continuously been imploring him and his father to find for him. I don't know how to help him anymore. I try to be as loving and supportive as I can, but I'm very anxious myself and it's really stressing me out to know that someone I love could end his own life basically anytime. He refuses to get institutionalized, which I understand. Mental wards are not pleasant places, I'd rather be at home too, but I worry his family that he lives with can't keep an eye on him all the time. Yesterday I texted him that I'm looking forward to watching a movie with him and today I woke up to him saying he doesn't know if he can do that. Of course my mind immediately jumps to the worst conclusion, he's tried it again. I saw that text over an hour ago and I still feel nauseous because I simply can't stop worrying. At this point I'm afraid of engaging too much, of being too sure any plans will happen. Anytime we meet I'm fully aware it could be the last. I'm stressed to no end, but I feel like if I distance myself and he really goes through with it, it'll be my fault, because I could have been there for him and I wasn't. I can barely enjoy anything without feeling guilty about it, and I can barely get the constant worry out of my mind. It affects my focus at work, it affects my hobbies because I have no energy to pursue them, I just feel no sense of security anymore. I wish he would just get institutionalized just for a while until he's no longer acutely suicidal, but he won't let himself be forced to do that. I feel like I'm just watching him waste away from a distance and I am just getting dragged down with him. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.